Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday morning power yoga here at the Treasure Box. I'm going to turn the camera. I have Stephen. And I don't have my cameraman, Scott, today because, now that we have figured out how to use a tripod with my phone, that's what we're using to record these meetings, which actually makes it great because the sound quality is good and the picture quality turns out to be good too because I got a new iPhone. I got an iPhone XS. So it has lots of storage, although I don't store on my computer itself, I store in the cloud. So all righty, everybody, join me on the mat and let's go ahead and have a seat. Let's start off initially in Sukhasana. If you have something that you like to sit on, a block, a pillow, just right on the mat, a blanket, whatever works for you. But remember, in Sukhasana, what we are going for is a very open energy channel from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of your head. And you want to be able to sit nice and tall. That's how we create that open channel. You want your breath to be able to move freely up and down your spine. And you want your shoulders to stack gorgeously over your hips. And you want to be able to move your head back in the same plane as your back, your shoulders, and your hips. Inhale your shoulders up to the ears. And then exhale, bring them back down. Let's take a couple of moments to get into the breath. Inhaling. And then exhaling. As you inhale, expand your ribs. And then exhale again. On your next inhale, expand your collarbones along with your ribs. Exhaling. Take notice of when you cue your brain to expand all those parts of your torso, how much more air you bring in. Let's integrate some movement with our breath. Bring our hands up overhead. And then exhale, hands out and down. Inhale our hands out and up. Exhale out and down. Inhale out and up. And then exhale, go ahead and lean forward so that we reach the ground. I'm going to move my pad behind me off to the side. And go ahead and reach forward, stretching out the back of your hip. Whichever foot is in front is the hip that's getting the stretch. Inhale, sitting all the way up. Walk your hands back. Change the direction of your feet. So I'm going to take my right foot and place it behind my left foot. Still sitting in this easy seated pose, Sukhasana. Inhale the hands up. And then exhale, lean forward, stretching out your other hip. So in my circumstance, I'm stretching out my left hip now. One more inhale. And then exhale, walk your hands back. Find your way to tabletop position. This is great. Even on greater slope than I've been in the past. Inhale, dropping your udders as we go into cow, dropping your belly, raising your hips, drawing your shoulders back and away from your ears. On your exhale, move into cat, curling your back up to the sky, pulling your belly button close to the spine. Inhale, reverse that order, drop the belly, pulling the shoulders back and down, maybe opening up your throat. And then exhale, reverse that. Drawing the chin to the chest as you draw your belly button in. Inhale, reverse that. And then on the exhale, draw the belly button up as you curl your back up to the sky. Let's do that one more time. It feels very good. Inhale up. And then exhale in the opposite direction. Remaining high, let's move our hands forward into puppy dog pose. So keeping our hips high in the air, stretching out our shoulders, drawing our heart center towards the floor. This is a nice way to get that first shoulder stretch of the day. Sometimes I like it better than child's pose, honestly. And then go ahead and rise out of that. Let's go ahead and thread the needle, taking our right hand up to the sky first. And then on the exhale, thread it underneath our left arm and lay it across our right shoulder. Keep our hips squared off, so you might move your hips to the right a little bit. And then if you want to increase that twist a little bit, you can take your left arm and start to wrap it around your back and reach for your upper right thigh. And you can open up your twist then. Or if it works better for you, you can just have your hand up to the sky. The choice is yours. Let's go ahead and unravel out of that. Rise up. Placing our left hand underneath our heart center, placing our right hand underneath our heart center, raise up our left hand. And then exhale, thread the needle, placing your left arm underneath your right, laying across your left shoulder. Move your hips slightly to the right to square them off. And if you want to increase your twist, take your right hand and reach it behind your back and reach for your upper left thigh, and then work your way into that twist. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, go ahead and unravel your way out of that twist. Go ahead and tuck your toes and move back into your first downward facing dog of the day. Pushing away from the mat, pushing your downward dog back and high. You want your hips high up in the air and way back. You can bend your legs to increase that opening of your heart center, opening of your shoulders so that you can allow your heart center to descend towards the ground. Remember to pull your ears and your shoulders away from one another. I always say that like you can actually move your ears, pulling your shoulders down. Stephen's used to all of my faux pas with language during yoga. He's gotten used to I know what she meant. It doesn't matter what she said. We should name the classes. Come to yoga. Do what the instructor means, not what she says. All right, rise up high on your tippy toes and then go ahead, pull your hips up and back and then allow your heels to fall. They don't have to touch the mat if it's not time yet. Mine aren't. On your inhale, place your left foot flat on the mat, rise your right foot up to hip height. On your exhale, bring knee to nose as you bring your hand all the way through, setting up for our first lunge of the day. In this first lunge, I want you to make sure that your foot is in firm contact with the floor, all three corners of it. Your ankle is underneath your knee and you have a nice deep bend in the hip. Your left leg is straight and strong behind you. Place your hands on your hips and rise up. And go ahead and raise your hands if you want. On the inhale, you raise your hands. On the exhale, you sink your hips by bending your front leg more deeply. Inhale. And then exhale, draw your shoulders back and down. Inhale. On your exhale, if you want to curl back, go ahead and do that. Take another inhale. And then exhale, place your hands or you're on the mat. Go ahead and bring your right foot back to join your left. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, and then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes back into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg to hip height. Exhale, drawing knee to nose. Bring your foot in between your hands. Set up, have a nice, strong, well-aligned lunge, and then put your hands on your hips and rise up. And then go ahead and raise your hands. Inhale, raise your hands high. Exhale, sink your hips low by bending your left front knee. Inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, sinking your hips low. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower those hips. On your next inhale, if you want to curl back, you can. Inhale. And then exhale, place your hands on the mat, either side of your left foot. Bring the left foot back to join the right. Inhale. Exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over your toes into downward facing dog. Pushing back. Stretching out your dog. That was our first movement of the day. Feels good. Inhale, rise your right leg up to hip height and then go all the way if you choose, raising it all the way up to the sky into a nice three-legged dog. Stretching out the back of your left leg. Keep remembering to push the mat away with your hands. If you want to open up your dog, you can. So go ahead and draw your right heel to your right hip and then stack your right hip on top of your left as you open up your body to the right. Still pushing the mat away. Really opening up that right hip. Raising that knee as high as you can while your leg is bent. One more inhale. Exhale. Straighten that out. Bring your knee to your nose. Bring into lunge again and then rise up. So now we're layering on top of the last experience. Inhale, raise your hands up. Exhale, go ahead and place your hands behind you like airplane wings and lean over your thigh. Inhale, rise up again. Exhale, leaning into that like airplane wings, hands behind you. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Take that twist. Placing your left elbow over your right knee on the outside. Pushing your hands together, engaging in that twist. The more you push your hands together, the more you can do that twist. Keep your leg behind you straight and strong. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, go ahead and place your right hand on the mat just outside of your right hand. And go ahead and just open up. Still stay in that lunge, but open up to the left side. This should feel really good. Low stress. Inhale. Exhale, place your left hand on the mat. Bring your right foot back to join your left. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog and move back into downward facing dog. Next side. Inhale our left foot up to hip height. And then if you want, keep going all the way up into that extended three-legged dog. And then if you want to open up your dog, flip your left hip up to the sky, bend your left foot so that or bend your knee so your left foot is drawn toward your left hip. Continue to rise your knee up into the air, pushing the mat away with your hands at the same time. Enjoy the stretch, enjoy the extension. It's Saturday. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, straighten that out. On the inhale, bring your knee to your nose and all the way through to your hands. Set up your lunge. I know I screwed up the inhales and exhales there. It doesn't matter. As long as you're breathing, go ahead and rise up. I've got something under my foot. I keep moving it and it's still staying there. There we go. This is what happens when you do yoga outside. There's nature. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lean forward over your thigh as you bring your hands backwards like an airplane wings. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lean forward, bringing your hands backwards. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale, take that twist. Hooking your right elbow over your left knee, pushing your hands together as you engage your twist to the left. These are the times I crave an even surface when we're outside, because I feel like I could fall over on this hill. One more inhale, and then exhale, place your left hand on the mat, open up to the right, opening up your body, just enjoying that free feeling. One more inhale, and then exhale, place your right hand on the mat, move your left foot back to join your right, inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana, inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes into downward facing dog. So I'm struggling a little bit with migraine brought on by this heat, complicated by that red wine I have to have with its histamines and tannins, but it was so delicious. So I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning with just raging headaches. So I took some Excedrin, lay down on the couch for a while, then went upstairs, put something on in the headphones and fell back asleep. But it'll be here for until the heat breaks. Okay, go ahead and raise that right leg up. Exhale to the nose with the knee. Inhale, bring your leg up behind you. Exhale to your right elbow with your right knee. Exhale, raising your leg all the way up. Exhale, crossing the body in a twist. Knee to your left elbow. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring it all the way through. And let's open up into Warrior Two. Warrior Two is such a wonderful strength pose. Did you see that? That's the hill. Okay, so pull your shoulders together on your back. Pull them away from your ears. Pull your belly button up against the spine and tilt your tailbone towards the ground. Bend your right knee as deeply as you can. That's what makes it a power move. That's what makes it a strength pose, is when you bend this front knee very deeply, you are using those quadricep muscles on top of your thigh. Looking out over your right fingertips. If you can bend that right knee a little bit more and sink a little bit lower, go ahead. Inhale, and on the exhale, go ahead and reverse that to Peaceful Warrior. You can curl back if you want, or just reach for the sky, but keep your hips low, keep them stationary. One more inhale. Now on your exhale, if you want to, you can take your hand all the way to the floor on the inside, or you can place your forearm on top of your knee. The choice is yours. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so now we're going to go into extended side angle. So first bring your left arm up to the sky. Then if you want, you can bring it alongside your left ear. If you sink your hips more low, you get a nice, even, long, straight line from your ankle all the way to your wrist. But you will feel it in your hip and you will feel it in your thigh. The choice is yours. Or you can back out a little bit. That's okay too. As you're in this pose, go ahead and be drawing the crown of your head forward. And then try to open up your heart center. Inhale. And then exhale, go ahead and place that left hand on the ground. Get up on your toes and go into an easy twist. One more inhale. Exhale, we'll go back into that extended side angle pose. Reach your left hand forward and down in a circle as we go back up into warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, moving back into that plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog, and then move back into downward facing dog. Feel the difference on each side. You're stretching out that right leg. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, rise that left leg all the way up. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, rise your left leg up. Exhale, cross the body, left knee to right elbow. Rise up. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring it all the way through. And then open up into warrior two. Remembering again, the more you sink your hips, the more you bend your left knee, the more you're working that leg. That's what makes this a power move. Pulling your belly button in against the spine and tilting your tailbone towards the floor. Pull your shoulder blades together on your back as you look out over your left fingertips. One more inhale. Exhale, reverse that into into peaceful warrior. We should throw in a humble warrior, Stephen. Let's do that in the next flow. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach. You can curl back if you want. And then on your exhale, we're gonna move into that extended side angle. I'm placing my left hand on the inside of my left foot. You can also place your forearm on top of your leg. Go ahead. First, raise your right hand to the sky and then alongside your ears if you want. And then go ahead and curl your right shoulder back, pulling it back to open up your heart center to the sky, sinking a little bit lower in that hip, drawing the crown of your head forward. It's a lot to work. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, one more reach. And then exhale, place that right hand on the ground. Get up on your toes and go ahead and do an easy twist to the other side. Hello. Gary does work here, but Gary took off for a little while. What? Gary will be back at 10. Yeah, okay. Yes, uh-huh. All right. You do classes all day? Or? I do classes every Saturday at 8:30 here. Okay. Well, fighters, when you need them fast to work. Wonderful, thank you. I have the sloth mask like that. Yeah, yours is a gorilla. I have a, or no, it's a pug. It's a pug. I have a sloth. Right on. You have a beautiful day, sir. Okay, reaching up. And then on the exhale, go ahead and place that left hand on the mat. Opening up again into your extended side angle. Reach your left hand forward, circle it down. Did I say left hand? I meant right. And then rise back up into warrior two. See, another moment of what did she mean? We'll just follow what she said. She meant. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Bring your left foot back to join your right. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. And then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Pushing back, enjoy that dog. Now my heels are pretty much touching the mat because I'm so warmed up. So you'll find that your downward dog changes throughout your flow. It gets more extended by the end of your flow. Inhale, rise your right leg up again. Exhale, bring knee to nose as you bring it all the way through. And then rise up into warrior two. So as I promised, we are going to go ahead and do that humble warrior because it's such a great pose. So go ahead and reach your hands out to the sides and bring them down, clasping them below your hips. Go ahead on the inhale and rise up your heart center. Allow the sun to kiss your face. Feel that freedom of an open heart. Go ahead and inhale. On your exhale, we're going to be moving towards the inside of our right knee. So you're going to start lowering your body on the inside of your right leg. And while you do that, you allow your hands to come up overhead into blade. Move your hips slightly to the left so that you square them off. That's what makes it tougher. So we can all stick our booties out, but that doesn't really do what we want. We want to move our hips in alignment with our knee. And go ahead and fold over. Enjoy that stretch of your shoulders. While you're in this position, be thinking about the humble warrior. This is the person that knows how hard the fight is, knows what the sacrifices are, honors those who have come before him. And remember, we don't mean literal war, maybe. We might mean an internal war, an internal struggle. Inhale with control, rise up. Exhale, extend out our arms into warrior two arms and go ahead and straighten out our right leg. Take a breath. On your exhale, let's go ahead and fall over into our triangle, leaving our hips in the same place so you don't need to kick your left hip back. And as you do this, open up. Draw your left shoulder back, twist from the center of your core, drawing your head forward towards your right toes. Imagining you've got a glass wall behind you and you are pressing your body up against that. The more you tilt your tailbone, the more you rotate your right thigh so that you have your kneecap facing the sky. So basically rotating your thigh within the hip socket, drawing the hip down as you bring the inner thigh up, drawing your kneecap up. One of the ways you might remind yourself to do that also is by lifting your toes and drawing your pinky toe back towards your hip. When you do that, it engages all of those muscles. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Bring your left hand down to the mat. Slightly shorten your stance by bending your right knee and bringing your left foot in just a little bit. Go ahead and draw the crown of your head forward. And then exhale, fold over your right leg. If you need a micro bend in your right leg, go ahead and do that. Drawing your right hip back as you bring your left hip forward. Drawing your shoulders onto your back will better protect your lower back as well. You may not be able to fold as deeply, but you will fold safely. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, place your left hand on the floor on the inside of your leg, wherever works for you. We're going to open up into revolve triangle. So place your right hand on your right hip. If you need to lengthen the space between your feet, that's okay too. I just did. And then go ahead and start to turn to the right. Again, draw your right hip back as you bring your left hip forward. And then you can bring your hand up to the sky. Continuing to engage the twist of the body, the arm just follows. I am sweaty. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, go ahead and place your right foot on the ground in front, your right hand on the ground in front of your right foot, about 8 to 10 inches out to the side a little bit. And go ahead and kick up. Straight leg in the front, straight leg in the back. Go ahead and have your left leg up to hip height to start, and then open up your hips. We're moving into balancing half moon, balancing Ardha Chandrasana. As you extend into this, you're opening up your hips, pushing your hips kind of to the left as you raise your left leg and bring your left shoulder back. Again, imagining that there's a plane behind you, a wall behind you, and that you're pressing up against it. And then you can rise up your left hand to allow you to fly in this pose. You can curl your back a little bit if you want to. And there goes my headpiece again. It keeps falling out because I'm sweaty. Let me de-sweatify my ear. Okay. All righty. Now we're going to take our left hand down to the floor. Continue to keep that left leg risen. Bring both of your hands back in alignment with your right foot and raise your left leg up into a standing split. And then go ahead and place your left hand in front of your right foot, 8 to 10 inches off to the left of it. Place your right hand on your right hip and start to engage your twist on the other side. Revolve, balancing half moon. These are not Stephen's favorite poses, but he's not grunting. He's learned about the importance of the breath. One more inhale, exhale, place that down. With control, go ahead and bring your left toes behind you going into a lunge. Go ahead and drop your left foot or your left knee. And then we rise up, stretch out the hip. This should actually feel quite good now. Curling back if you want to, opening up that left hip. Go ahead and place our hands on the ground. If you want to, we can open up the hip a little bit more by placing our right hand on the inside of our right knee and just pushing our knee away from us. Still moving the hips forward while we're doing that. Very nice. And let's go ahead and move back into a runner's stretch. So keeping our left foot on the floor, moving our hips back in space. As that right leg straightens up, our toes peel off the floor. And go ahead and engage that stretch, drawing your torso towards your left leg. Notice all the space between my chest and my leg. Your goal is not to lay down on it unless you're a super flexible person. But you should be getting a beautiful stretch along the entire length of your hamstring. Continue to draw your toes up to the sky while you're doing this. Very nice. Let's move back into downward facing dog now. Tuck your left toes. Bring your right foot back. Rise it up into the air. And then exhale, drop it down. I just found some dog hair. Right on. Move your downward dog back. Feel the difference one side to the other. Now we're going to work the other side. Go ahead and lift our left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose, and bring it all the way through as we open up into warrior two. Draw our hands down below our hips. Straighten them out. Open up the heart center. Allow your back to curl as you rise your heart center up to the sky. Go ahead and inhale. And then on your exhale, go ahead and lean forward into that humble warrior, drawing your left shoulder on the inside of your left knee, allowing your arms to rise up into blade. Pull your hips to the right to square them off. Again, remembering those who came before you, remembering the humility of the struggle, the humbleness of the struggle. This is the ultimate expression of non-competition. This is the ultimate expression of respect. Respect for yourself, respect for the world around you. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring your hands back to warrior two, arms, and then straighten out your left leg. Inhale. And then on your exhale, start to move into your triangle by allowing your left hand to lower to the ground. Right hand is overhead. Tuck your hips so your tailbone is facing the ground. You can move your hips slightly to the right as you bring your right shoulder back in space, continuing that twist in that direction. The arm follows. Again, engage Your left toes, bring them back towards your left hip. Rotate your hip inside the socket so that your kneecap is facing the sky. So you're bringing your hip down as you rotate the inner thigh up. Completely changes this pose and its presentation. Completely engages those pelvic muscles in it. Inhale. Exhale. Left shoulder stacked underneath the right. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring your right hand to the ground. Slightly shorten your stance. Draw the crown of your head forward. And then on the exhale, allow your torso to descend over your left leg, drawing your left hip back as you bring your right hip forward, squaring off those hips. Again, remember to protect your lower back by drawing your shoulder blades onto your back. One more inhale. Exhale. Place your right hand on the inside of your left foot. If you need to extend your legs out a little bit more, you can. Place your left hand on your left hip, setting up for revolved triangle. Go ahead and twist to the left. Again, drawing your left hip back as you bring your right hip forward. And then you can rise your left hand up. Continue to engage in the twist from the center of the belly. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring your left hand down, bringing it out to the left of your left foot, about 8 to 10 inches. Go ahead and rise up, straighten out that left leg. Straighten out the right leg, bringing it up to hip height. Place your right hand on your right hip. Go ahead and rotate your right hip up to the sky. Draw your right shoulder back. When you feel comfortable with that, then go ahead and rise your right leg, arm up to the sky. Continuing to move your hips in the same direction as the front of your body is moving, curling your right shoulder back as you're raising your right leg up, stacking your right hip on top of your left. Looks good, Stephen, looks really good. One more inhale, and then exhale, bring your right hand down. We're setting up for the other side. Let's first go into standing splits. Rising our right leg up as high as you can. And then going from there, place our right hand in front of our left foot out to the right just a little bit. Bring our left hand to our left hip. Turning to the left. This side can be much harder. And then engaging your twist and keeping my headpiece from falling out again. Bringing your left shoulder on top of your right. One more inhale. Exhale, lower your left hand down. Bring your right foot back with control. And go ahead and lower your right knee. Rising up. Stretching out. Sinking into that left hip. Enjoying that. Curling back if you want to. Go ahead and place your right hand on the mat, and let's go ahead and stretch out that left hip by placing our left heel of our hand on the inside of our left knee and just opening it up. Very nice. And then let's go ahead, return to that low lunge. Start to move our hips back in space. Allow our toes to peel off the floor on the left side as we go into our runner's stretch. Again, your torso is over your left leg, but it isn't necessarily touching. More importantly is, are you getting a good stretch all along the back of your left leg? And then go ahead, place your hands on the mat, tuck your right toes, move back into that three-legged dog, and then back into downward facing dog. Moving all the way back into your dog, enjoying that stretch. It is the last one of the day. One more inhale. Then exhale, go ahead and drop to your knees. Place your knees together as you widen your feet and sit down in hero pose. I know I lecture the class every week on the importance of hero, but it's such a good pose. And it's so important for the health of our knees to do these deep knee bends. I have sweat in my eyes. We are roasting out here in the sun. Stephen just moved his mat. But it's good, actually. You can get so much extension when the body is warm. It's kind of like doing hot yoga, right? And when we can't do it out here anymore, if it gets a little too chilly in the fall, we're going to move it over to the patio where we have, you know, some protection from the wind over there. And Gary's going to put up some, hopefully, some of those rattan curtains. So, okay, if you want to go ahead and lean forward into your hero, you can go ahead and do that to open up the hips a little bit more. Just be careful. This is a really deep bend. It's not for everybody. And then go ahead and rise up. And then we're going to go back to our hands and knees and set up for pigeon. So go ahead and bring your right foot forward, going back into that lunge again where our left knee is still on the ground. We're kind of going to do, I think we'll do lizard to open up that hip. So to do lizard, you just have your hips nice and wide. You can have them as wide apart, your feet as wide apart as you want. And then you just go ahead and lower down to the ground. One elbow and then the other. If you're not able to lower them, you can stay up on your hands. That's totally okay. And we're just gonna, and then if you want to increase your stretch, you can lift up your left leg by tucking your toes and straightening out your left leg. This is actually one of the best lizards I've done in a long time. I am really extended. I feel good. One more inhale. And then exhale, go ahead and lower down that leg, rise up, and let's walk our right foot to the left as we set up for pigeon. Go ahead and lay your knee down. Extend your left leg behind you as far as you choose. And I'm going to move back on my mat a little bit so that I'm not so much in the dirt. All right, then you can go ahead and lay down across your leg. You can be on your elbows. You can have your hands extended all the way out in front. We're so warmed up, we can do anything. Our bodies are open. Yay. So Elizabeth is Simon's mom. Simon is faithful. He's always on. Elizabeth might be watching. I'm not sure. She might be sleeping in. She was out late last night having a nice dinner. Anyway, she says, I kick her ass in a good way. I'll take that as a compliment. And if you want to further engage in the stretch, you can go ahead and thread the needle, laying across your left shoulder if you want. You can take your right arm, take it around your back, and reach for the top of your left thigh. I'm actually touching my hip bone, but that further increases that stretch on the right hip. And if you want, you can reach back with your right hand and grab your left foot, pulling your left foot towards your left hip. One more inhale. Exhale, let that down with control. Use your right hand to rise up. And then if you want to do the other side, go ahead and reach back and grab your left foot If you want to tuck it into your elbow, feel free. I'm gonna sit down on my hip and go ahead and bind. Go ahead and release out of that. Gradually let your left foot go back. And then move back to your knees. Take your left leg forward, going back into that lunge that we were in before. How's your right hip feeling? Open. Go ahead and lower down into lizard if it's available to you. Lizard's completely different on this side for me. Open hips means a healthy lower back. But we always have to balance it out with strength along the lower back also to keep your sacroiliac joints firmly in place. Go ahead and rise up. Lower that right knee back down if you've lifted it, and walk your right foot to the left, lowering your left knee. Straightening out your right leg behind you in any way that you want. You can tuck your toe, you can have your foot flat, whatever works for you. Go ahead and rise up. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lower down across your leg. You can stay up on your elbows. You can reach your hands all the way out in front. One more inhale. And on the exhale, if you want to join me, I'm going to go ahead and thread the needle. You can stay in that position if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and thread the needle. Draw my left hand out to the side and around behind me, reaching for my right hip bone. Engaging in that twist. And then if you want to reach back and grab your right foot, you can. And you can continue to draw. Oh, this one feels different than my other one. Draw your right heel into your right hip. The body is a funny thing. It's terribly uneven, but we're always shooting to make it more even, creating more balance through our asanas. A metaphor for living. Balance of the body, balance on the mat, balance off the mat. Go ahead and drop that leg. Rise up using your left hand. If you want to reach behind with your right arm and grab your right leg, you can. I'm going to engage in the bind. I'm going to sit down on my hip to do that. It's not as easy on this hill in this direction. There we go. Easier on this side because my hip is more open. Probably not as pretty as it can be, but I'm in it. I was telling Scott I need some nature shots now of me doing yoga poses. We just finished my website. All righty, so let's go ahead and move back on our knees and move back into child's pose. You have worked so hard. And then go ahead and find your way into laying down on your back. Stephen's kind of looking like he's setting up for turtle pose, actually. Okay, so I'm a little bit on a hill, so I got to play around with my position a little bit so I don't roll down the hill. And you can have, as you work your way into Shavasana, go ahead and lift up your hips, wiggle them a little bit and lay them back down to have equal pressure on either side of your sacrum. You can have your feet extended in front of you. You can have them in Baddha Konasana, bound angle, also sometimes called butterfly, allowing your knees to fall out to the side, your soles of your feet together. You can even just have your feet still planted on the mat. It is entirely up to you. But as we go into this pose, we're going to draw our attention to the sacral chakra, not the sacral, I'm sorry, the solar plexus chakra. I want you to imagine that chakra in the color of yellow, not the color I'm wearing right now, which is orange. But imagine it is a glowing red yellow ball in the center, right in the center of your abdomen. This is the place where we learn to take action. You hear the expression, the fire in the belly. That's what it's referring to. This is our center of decisiveness. This is where we set intentions and then make a plan and then meet them. This is our source of our self-esteem, of who we see ourselves as. When this chakra is in balance, we have assertiveness. We have the ability to take action without feeling badly about it. We have the ability to take action without stepping on other people. We have a can-do perspective. We feel strong, we feel healthy. When it's not in balance, we might feel passive and submissive. We might feel like we cannot make any decisions. We might feel like we have to ask permission for everything we do. And in turn, we might feel resentful because of that. We might compensate for that by becoming very aggressive, very overbearing, very strong towards other people. So these are both indicators that we would need to take a look and figure out, why do we feel that way? Oftentimes in life, when people are aggressive, it is out of fear. What do you fear? So continue to breathe gently in and out. Focusing your thoughts and your energies on the balancing of your solar plexus, Manipura. So wherever you've drifted off to, I invite you to join me in the present moment, bringing your consciousness back to the now. Maybe you'd like to integrate a little bit of movement. Maybe you'd like to stretch out. Maybe you'd like to wiggle your fingers and toes and shrug your shoulders. Go ahead and roll over to one side or roll over to the other. Hold that for a moment. Take your time. And then when you feel ready, rise up into a seated position. Stephen's already arrived. Want more spray, Stephen? There was, doesn't it? Go ahead and inhale our hands up to the sky. Exhale our hands out and down. Inhale out and up. Exhale down. And then one more inhale out and up. Exhale, bring your hands to Ajna, your third eye between your eyebrows. Bring them down to Anahata, the heart center. Inhale. Exhale, lowering, bowing your head. What a wonderful surprise to be joined by my old friend Stephen today. So grateful for old friends, so grateful for the opportunity to connect through this beautiful art of yoga. As we head into our holiday weekend, I wish you wellness, I wish you safety. Hopeful that this has been a nice beginning to your weekend. Next week, I will continue my regular schedule by Zoom. And Saturday, Nova is going to step in for me live here at the Treasure Box, and she's going to teach the class also by Zoom and live here at the Treasure Box outside. So that'll be a fun change of pace for you, Simon, if you're on, or your family if they're on too. But I'm going to take some time and go to the beach next week. So inhale, exhale. The light in me joins the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste. And that concludes the practice.